What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. Today I'm going to show you how to build a wider chest. I don't care what angle you're viewed at. And to do that, we're breaking out the muscle markers and we're bringing in Jesse, your beloved Jesse.
Wait. We forgot my intro.
The what?
My intro. It's awesome. Just do it again.
And to do that, we're breaking out the muscle markers and we're bringing in Jesse.
Awesome, right?
I don't believe you.
What? Come on.
Guys, let's talk about a wider chest. Thank you for coming because you're my example of someone that does not have a wide chest. So thanks for being this shining example of what we need to fix.
That's mean.
Yep. So here we go, guys. So what we're talking about when people talk about a wider chest is we're really talking about the difference between here and here. Okay, now we start to take out the muscle marker and realize that we're talking about the length of the muscle from its origin here on the sternum or on the clavicle out to the arm, right? And it feeds into this direction, sort of top down there. And I hope you don't mind me drawing on you, right?
I'm honored.
Okay, so and then it comes up like this, up through here and feeds up into that point. So what we see though in Jesse is if we turn to the side, this is where it sort of falls apart, right? It sort of just disappears over here. There's no overhang, there's no width. And while there's nothing you can specifically do to create a targeted attack plan for just this area of the chest, there are ways that you do the exercises you're doing that are going to allow for a much better developed pec, because a bigger, more developed pec is going to stand out more and more importantly, hang over here more. But it's how you do the exercise you're already doing. So what I want to do with Jesse and take you guys through is each of the exercises are going to have the most impact, but not just what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. Remember guys, how you do what you're doing and why you do what you're doing is always going to have the biggest effect. You ready to go through the exercises?
Let's go.
All right, so I mentioned common exercises. The dip is one of the best ways to attack this and to start developing your chest. It's how you do the dip though, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're applying the most tension to the pec that you can by pre-positioning your body the right way, meaning put some extra stretch on it. And the way we do that is to get away from these rounded shoulders like that when we do dips. That's ugly and a lot of people do it. Instead, open the shoulders up. Really try to open your chest up. I say act wide to get wide. So we act wide. That puts a lot more of that stretch on the pec based on that attachment we just saw. Now when we go and do it, you don't just get down there and bounce right out of it like that. You gotta savor that stretch on the pec at the bottom. So he's in this position for 1 or 2 seconds and then come back out of it. Think of it like a pause dip. Down, he has the tension here. You can see it working and now come up. And what this is doing is just exploring more full range of motion. There's no magic technique that's delivering impulses right here to this area that's gonna make it overhang and get wider. It's just that he's training this exercise through a more intentioned full range of motion. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, remember I said it's not the exercises, but it's how you do the exercises. Obviously, a bench press is part of the equation here, but how you do it is the most important thing. So Jesse, go ahead and do a bench press. Okay, lots of things here that I don't like and I don't want you doing. All right, so let's reset this. The first thing, remember I said if you want to get wide, you got to be wide. To be wide, you have to open your chest up, consciously open your chest up to set up the positioning. That's actually going to fix your shoulder blades and put them in the right position to start anyway. But you can see that even just getting into that position, he's placed more tension and stretch right here on the pec. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that on the bottom of every repetition, we actually savor that. We allow that to stay there and develop it. So what we do is we press, and when we come back down, he gets to the bottom, he's going to do once again a pause. He's going to hold that there for just 1 or 2 seconds and come back out of it. When you come out, the second thing he was doing before was pushing and leading with his shoulders, which is going to immediately take the tension off of the pecs that he established at the bottom in the first place. We don't want that. Once it's established here, you want to keep it by leading and pressing with the chest, almost squeezing your biceps together rather than leading with your shoulders. So those two little tweaks there are going to make a profound difference on the development of the pec, not again because there's a magic to what's happening there. It's just that you're actually exploring a more full range of motion by getting down there and opening up the chest and then making sure that tension is being applied to it in that stretch position. All right, next up is a push-up. We talk about common exercises, but they're commonly performed incorrectly, at least when it comes to the purpose of trying to apply as much tension to the pec throughout as much of the available range of motion as possible. We can do it with a push-up where some people actually think we're limited. We're not. What you do is you get down into position to do a push-up, but instead of limiting yourself here to the ground, you can grab a pair of dumbbells, not only going to help people that have some wrist limitations, but they're going to allow for a greater range of motion on the chest to get that arm a little bit more behind the body. And these are all safe positions for the shoulder. We'll talk about one that isn't so much later on. You get down here, you can see that tension on the outer pec there. It's not necessarily, again, specific to the outer pec. It's just tension on the pec in a more elongated position. A more fully extended position or abducted position is going to allow for more overall tension, greater range of motion, and greater range of motion under load. All the things that are going to develop a pec better. So you see Jesse doing it here, and once again, you can apply the pause to the bottom of every single repetition. And the thought is, as he goes down, he wants to try to attack the ground with his chest. The hands stay where they are, the shoulders almost stay back, and the chest leads the way down towards the ground on every repetition to try to open it up and get wide. Again, hang out for a little bit on the bottom and come up, just increasing the tension for a longer range of motion. That's actually what your pec is allowing you in the first place. All right, so now you're probably thinking, well, Jeff, if you're so in love with this tension applied in a more abducted or extended position of the arm, then you must love the fly, like this. And if you haven't watched enough of my videos, I advise that you do, because you'd see that I hate the fly. As a physical therapist, guys, if there's one exercise that does accomplish this, it does, but at the expense of your shoulder, or at a high risk of your shoulder health, that would be it. But there's things you can do. I wouldn't leave you hanging. This is one of them. If you have access to a cable, what you do is you put yourself in the same position here. What Jesse did, what I want you to do is, the first step is, again, open up, get that chest further back. We know just by virtue of this muscle marker again, that if this arm is rounded forward, that we've just shortened that muscle from origin to insertion. But if we open it up, we've already applied a stretch to it just by changing our posture. So now from here, he has the tension on there, and he's going to initiate from this area. Initiate, and then we can actually fully adduct on this exercise, one of the things that we can't really do on the other exercises. So you take this pec through its entire range of motion, all the way out and then across and adducted and shortened all the way across the body. It's a great option for us to do that. Again, you keep the chest out the entire time. Never let it collapse and cave in. Always keep it out. For me, keeping the numbers out and then bringing the arm and across the body. Now, let's say you don't have access to this. What you could do is you could go over here and do what we say a floor fly. Now, the benefit of the floor fly is that it gives us that safety net. It gives us the floor as something to protect an overextension of the arms and jeopardizing your shoulder health. But what you do instead of just doing it flat on the floor is you use one of these, just a little bit of a half of a foam roller. This will allow you to get even a little bit more of that opening of the chest, because you're up elevated about 2 or 3 inches off the ground, that you can see now is possible. And when we do this, because of the ability to open up, still safely, because the elbows are literally only a millimeter or so off the ground, and the ground is there to catch us if needed, we have the opportunity to really apply that same tension in a more abducted position, greater range of motion, increased tension over a greater range of motion, all of the things we said in the beginning that are going to allow you to get more out of every repetition you do, the accumulation of which is going to apply more overloaded stress to your pec. This is going to help it to grow. And when it grows, what happens? This pec starts to get bigger and bigger, and the width will come. The width will start to come in, again, as we see here. Again, this is not Jesse's end goal. This is just a step up. And for you guys, again, aspire to be even better than this, but it's all going to come down to how consistent you are with the right type of training and how you do the exercises you do. If you're looking for a program, guys, that puts together all these things in a step-by-step fashion, again, put the science, though, behind what we do, because we know how much it matters. They're all over at ATHLEAN-X.com. In the meantime, if you found this video helpful, leave your comments and thumbs up below. Let me know what else you want me to cover. I'll do my best to do that for you. And if you haven't already done so, guys, click subscribe and turn your notifications so you never miss a video when we put one out.
Oh, if you guys love the intro, let me know. Leave a comment below saying intro stage.
Do you have a specific outro, or are we good?
No, we're good with that.
Good?
I'll develop an outro at some point.
All right, guys. I'll see you later.